What's up, you guys? This is Rob from The Gay Guy Plays, and today we are all banished aboard the hype train, whether you like it or not, because the rift is opening wide, and as we travel deep, deep inside, we find ourselves the golden, luxurious, opulent Limbo Prime, and let me tell you, he is looking freaking better than ever. So as you guys can tell, I went ahead and picked up the Prime Access, which includes Limbo Prime, Piranha Prime, Destreza Prime, as well as a couple accessories. So I figured let's go ahead and take a look at Limbo's visuals first. We'll jump into some stats, and then we'll go into some testing gameplay in the simulacrum. So to start things off, I have to say, I did not know how they were going to make Limbo look more Prime than he originally did. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, I thought he looked Prime straight out of the gate, but damn, they really upped their games on this one. It does remind me of a little bit of a steampunk feeling. The shoes are cool as all hell. I'm loving, I guess you would call them the cuffs, like they're like cuffs almost like folded over, like, or wrist guards, I don't know what to tell them, but really, my favorite part is this back piece right here. You can see it's almost kind of like a half a gear or a cog or something. It looks absolutely gorgeous with the energy effects that come from it. I'm like, ooh. The other thing that I really enjoy is the fact that they got rid of the asymmetry on his chest piece, because you know that thing was kind of like off and wonky and stuff. So now it's nice to have it all symmetrical so that we can go ahead and center things on there without stuff being, like in the way. So definitely fond of that. The thing that I'm kind of a little bit off kilter on is definitely the hat. Like, looking at it from up front, I thought that it would kind of like go all the way around and be wide brimmed all the way around, but it's kind of like a bat. It's like the bat hat. And I have to admit, I'm not sure exactly how I feel about it, but I don't feel strongly enough to like give this a nay. I'm still kind of feeling it for sure. The other thing that I do want to point out is I'm absolutely in love with their color mapping on this one. It sounds really weird for me to like get jazzed up about, ooh, color mapping, but it's really good. On the original Limbo, he was a little bit hard to color without making him look crazy. You know what I mean? Like, you use one wrong color and everything just goes to shit. But as you can see here, they've managed to separate out the colors of his outfit so that you can really go ahead and kind of like play around with color a little bit more without being so afraid that you're gonna do something absolutely too crazy with him. I think he looks fantastic. The only thing that I will say that's a little bit of a critique is, for some reason, the primary color, you can never get it to be full-on white. It's always kind of like at its brightest, it's like this weird blue white, which I'm not fond of. See, it kind of like has a weird cast to it, which I don't know. It seems weird. I feel like I have to go a little bit more overboard with the warmth to kind of rein things in a little bit. But with that said, I think he's absolutely fantastic. Now, stats-wise, let's go ahead and take a quick look, because he does have a couple boosts. As you can see, his armor, energy, and shielding have all gone up. Now, the interesting thing about this is a lot of people actually will run Limbo with quick thinking, and he's one of the few frames that I run quick thinking on as well. So that energy is actually more survivability. So they're like, let's just boost all of his survivability stats and, you know, he'll be good. And I'm definitely happy with that. So let's go ahead and move on to the Piranha Prime. Now, this one was definitely the one that had me fooled. If I'm going to be completely honest with you, from the back angle that they had us, you know, looking at, I only saw the tip of it. You know, the tip can fool you sometimes, because the tip, you know, it might look good, it might look bad, but you don't know what rest is hiding behind there. But now I definitely see how this could be the Piranha, and let me tell you, it's gorgeous as well. The Piranha was already good to begin with, but they kind of just amped up its design features, and I'm really into this variation. Feels even more shotgunny than before. Now, if we go ahead and take a look at its stats as compared to the regular Piranha, and this is actually a theme that goes onto the Destreza as well, its base damage has been kind of fucked with, if I'm going to be honest with you. So its base damage is now 240 as compared to the Piranha's 269. Now, in addition to that, you can also see that its fire rate has gone down from 4.17 down to 4. So if we're looking at the burst damage on this thing, the Piranha does 960 at its base per second, or the Piranha Prime. And then the standard Piranha does like 1,100-ish. However, it does make up with things with a boost to its critical chance and critical multiplier, and it's got a little bit of a amped up status chance as well, but like 2%. So nothing to get too crazy excited over. The magazine has gone up and the reload speed has gone up as well. So it's still, I don't want to say it's a side grade, it's definitely going to be an upgrade with all of the critical mods that are on secondaries that'll really help push its damage out there, but it's not, I don't, at least at this point in time, it doesn't feel like a massive upgrade. I do want to get some Forma into it before I commit to that statement wholeheartedly, but as it stands, I'm kind of like, we'll see what we can do. Now, let's move along to the Destreza Prime, and oh dear sweet baby Jesus, is it gorgeous. This is what I've been wanting for such a long time. I've always wanted a foil that we could use and is just beautiful and elegant and kind of delicate, and the great thing about it is they still kept it delicate. It still looks very delicate, but it's got a little bit of prime oomph in there, which I'm very, very fond of. Extra swirlies on the knuckle guard, hand guard, the guard, whatever it's called. But I'm super, super happy with it, and it performs quite well too. I've playtested both the Piranha and the Destreza Prime a little bit in the simulacrum just to get it, just to get an idea to see if there was anything hiding. There wasn't anything hiding. I'll let you know that right now. So as you can see right here, this is very, very similar to the Piranha Prime. Now its base damage went up by 0.9. By 0.9. So it's actually 76 base damage as opposed to 75.1 base damage from the original Destreza. Now the only thing is, the Destreza Prime has actually taken a hit to its attack speed. So technically, the Destreza deals more, you know, standard damage than it. This one actually deals 69.69, which I kind of feel might have been an homage to this homage. But no, legitimately, that's how much the Destreza Prime's kind of like burst damage is, if you can even measure burst damage on a melee weapon. But there is some good things that are made up for it. Clearly, as you can see here, its critical chance has also jumped up to 24%, so that's an extra boost, but its critical multiplier is scary. It went up from 2 times to 3 times damage. That is absolutely nuts. Its status chance also had a big jump from 5% to 18%, so I'm kind of reeling. Its IPS did get shifted around a bit, took a little bit away from puncture and added more to impact and slash, which I will always support. However, this thing, just with its stats as is pretty freaking beastly. Now, as many of you guys know, I am Mastery Rank 25, so we're going to go ahead and pop off into the simulacrum. I'll show you what I've currently got working on the Piranha and the Destreza Prime real fast, and we'll kind of give you guys a display of how they work. However, again, you know, they're not fully modded. I don't have all of the builds on them, so we'll have to wait to see how those actually play out after I hit them with the snapshot, which I will definitely do once we are done with all of this. So let's jump on it. Alright, so we're going to start things off with a very bare bones build with the Piranha Prime, and as always, we're going to go ahead and take this up against one of our Billies. So let's run off and get that started real fast. I don't actually expect this to be too powerful, to be honest with you, mainly because of the fact that, you know, we don't have full status on this thing. But as you can see, at least I feel like the recoil on it, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but doesn't feel as bad as it did with the original. Maybe this is the same, maybe I'm nuts, but I feel like the recoil on the original one was actually worse. So clearly, we're going to go ahead and need to put a little bit more Forma into this to see exactly how this performs, because it's taken quite a while to take Billy down. But then again, the Piranha wasn't really necessarily the greatest at that originally anyway. So let's go ahead and take a look at what I've got rocking with the Destreza Prime. So the Destreza Prime right here, I do have a ribbon for it that I was able to fit in. Hallelujah, thank you for stances. But we've got body count, oh my god, what do you call it? Body count, blood rush and condition overload in there to go along with it, with a little bit of viral. As you guys know, the first 2 hits of, what is it called? Of the stance on this, the only stance that they have. Foxtrot, Fox, whatever it's called. Oh, Vulpine Mask. Is actually force procking. So as you can see right there, it makes quick work, but that was because of a finisher. So we can't really, we gotta give that another shot, because I don't want it to be, you know, completely misrepresented because of the fact that there's a finisher. So I'm gonna go for a different moveset right here. But as you can see, we're getting a lot of slash procs out on this guy, and whoo! It's not even leveled all the way. I don't even have all the mods on it, and it's already feeling real stanky. Real stanky. One more time. That felt too good to not stay in the moment with. And then after this, we'll go ahead and take a look at the customizations. But as you can see, when you get the procs in, because of the crits, oh, it's so nice. And that wasn't even with the finisher. So let's go ahead and take a look at the Prime accessory. Alright, now before we move on, I did forget to mention that I'm going to be linking the drop tables in the description box below. I believe DE's actually got their public list out already. If that's not kosher, I'll go ahead and toss some of the wiki ones down there as well. But while we're here, let's go ahead and take a look at the Rift Walker Sigil, which I'm very meh about, if I'm going to be completely honest with you. It looks really cool. The only thing that I do have to say about it is it doesn't really pick up the metallics as well as I would like, because it is meant to look like a metal piece, but it doesn't quite get there. Don't get me wrong, I think the design is kind of gorgeous. I do love the way that it looks. It's actually flipped upside down right now. This is it right side up. And I think that this could fit on many a Prime. However, they are using shading, like lightened shading, to make it look like it's 3D instead of actually having like a 3D raised one. So they have to kind of come up with a few tips and tricks. However, it does make it look less shiny and shimmery as opposed to the other metallics. And when you put that up against, like, you know, Limbo Prime, who is clearly very metallic and very shiny and shimmery, it's gonna look a little bit flat, as you can see right here. Or maybe is it not 100% flat? I don't know. It looks pretty flat to me, but the color is what also looks very flat to me. So while the design, I think, is on point, it's not shining, it's not shimmering, it's not splendid. It's just, it's there. It's nice, but it's not like breathtaking, you know? From far away, you could almost fool someone into thinking that. Now, of course, the last piece that we have is the SANDR, and as many of you guys know, I am usually not a fan of their SANDRs, and that's not, that's pretty much the case here too. I don't think that the, there you go. I don't think that the SANDR looks bad per se, but this is another one of those SANDRs that looks like someone's face. I'm sorry. It had to be said. It looks like Limbo wearing a top hat. And maybe like a veil coming down from his... But that's what it looks like to me, right? There's a little top hat section right here. And there's a little face. I mean, it's not exactly like that, but I mean, it looks pretty gosh darn close. And the last thing that I want is someone's face staring right back at me, kind of like they did with the Magor SANDR, or that one from Baro Katir that looked pretty much dead on like Nerja. Not super into it. However, one thing that I will say about this is I do like the fact that they kept it nice and short, and the fact that you can still see the tails from Limbo's, you know, inside of Limbo's jacket thing. The only thing that I wish that they had done is maybe carried through some of the energy effects like they did on the inside of Limbo's coat, because you can see with Limbo's coat there's a little bit of like energy rippling there. Like that would have been nice to see on the inside of this one. Regardless, not the biggest fan of it, and yeah, I don't usually say this, but you know, Prime accessories, if you want to collect them, definitely go ahead and collect them. I'm happy to have them, better than not to have them, but this isn't one of those ones where I'm like, y'all, you gotta get it. You know, like when I was saying the Atavis Prime, or when I was saying the Operator Prime outfits, I was like, y'all gotta get those. This is one of those ones where I'm like, I could understand why you may not necessarily want this specific one. But if you are a collector, just like me, get them all while you can, because you never know what's gonna happen next. They might go ahead and PBR that thing, that sigil, and it might look absolutely gorgeous. We never know. Regardless, that about does it for me for now with Limbo Prime access. Do keep in mind that I will be doing more in-depth reviews when it comes to the weapons themselves, so stay tuned for that, and I'll be releasing builds and all of that kind of stuff as well. So, as always, love somebody, hurt nobody, and touch your body. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye!